Hey Legionnaires and Black Powder fans, we're back with another 1700 Rise of Empires battle for you here today. And we have a historical battle actually in this one. This is the Battle of Holowczyn, which is 1417-08, right at the beginning of the sort of period that this mod for Shogun 2 covers. And this is a battle between the Swedes and the Russian Empire. So this is going to be a very, very exciting one. This is a Swedish victory historically, as Charles the 12th goes on to obviously, you know, cut through large swathes of Northern Europe and Russia. And yeah, this is a battle between Charles the 12th and a chap called Boris Sheremetev. We've got Peter the First here, Peter the Great. Funnily enough, we got him here. And we got, oh, we do have Boris as well. Excellent. We do actually have the historical commander here as well, which is great to have. And this is actually a core, essentially. I think it is. I think these are historical cores. We have like Tsar Peter's core here, or like army, 1708 to 1709. And then we have over here Leuwenhopt. And we have Adam Ludwig Leuwenhopt back there as the commander as well. He actually isn't at this battle, I don't think. But we have him here anyway. The Swedes are, by the way, push for. It's a very fast-paced battle. We've got, it looks like it's just some infantry going straight into melee here. This is crazy start here to this battle. I was not expecting this. And the Russians, I think they're firing or trying to fire their cannons. They're going to send forward pikemen anyway. I think these are guard pikemen that are being sent in. Yeah, they are like guard pikemen, and we've got more infantry going in here as well. Sweden at this point is a bit of a superpower, so it will be interesting to see how they do. But my god, what a start to this fight, just insulting this redoubt here that's been set up. What a cool position that the Russians have got set up here. The Swedes kind of just phase through. I like how they could just barricades be nothing. Just phase through and get into melee with these boys. But already looking like the guns are being routed. That's no surprise there. It looks like the artillery, the guard's going to go as well. We've got cavalry in behind here, setting up, just cavalry regiment. Over on the other side, much more quieter going on, just to keep an eye on that as well. Swedes are also starting to waver a little bit though as they go in further down the line. So those redoubts have actually held pretty strong. The Kalmar regiment being forced back here, as is some more of the Kalmar regiment.
Our general is under
General's under attack though. Not quite sure who's general, but Sweden has smashed through here. This has been a real success. They could do a backing this up with cavalry and charge on to the next line. Got cavalry back here as well for the Russians. We've got the Kievian Dragoons. And we're about to see cavalry regiment go in a moment here for the Swedes. I don't know where. Oh, rear charge from the Russians here. What a start to this fight. I haven't really been able to do like a proper intro, I feel like, almost. There you go, the Swedes go in. I would have thought their infantry's pretty exhausted. Morale does matter in this one quite a bit, and exhaustion does play a big part in that. Here we go, cavalry. This is King Carl now arriving over here to support his ally. He's sending in his dragoons. And he's sending them in against just some infantry here. Russia seems like he's stabilizing. Sweden, after his really big push here, has kind of like run out of steam, it would seem. He's still got some infantry units here that are in good nick, 211 in size. But yeah, as you can see over here, King Carl's just kind of like tying down the Russians with like minimal troops here. Then he's shifting all of his army over here, it seems. I mean, we can't see all of the Swedes, I don't think either, because we are looking from the Russian perspective. At least I don't think we can. I don't know. Fog of war might be a thing, might not be. The Dragoons are failing to break through here. This is not looking good so far for Sweden if they're trying to recreate history, that's for sure. We've got the Moscow Dragoons in here as well. They're now clashing with the Swedes. In history, yeah, the Russian forces will sort of separate from each other. This battle actually takes, supposedly over multiple days, depending on what calendar you go by. But yeah, this battle, from reading about it, I don't really know a lot about this period, but reading about this battle historically The Russians are kind of taken out piece by piece, which I think is what the Swedes are trying to recreate here, because they are marching all their armies over to trying to deal with Tsar Peter's army. And there is definitely a lot more Swedes. There was fog of war on for sure, because look at this. They're all starting to appear now. Karl is moving. We've got some more cavalry shifting in that direction as well. But yeah, this supposedly is Charles XII's favourite victory. And this is actually a historical map as well. So we're trying to create his favourite victory as best as possible here. Well, whether Sweden will actually win the battle, I don't know. We'll see. Sweden over here routing what remains of the Russian right. The redoubts are sort of being taken. It seems like a lot of these Swedes are sort of re-rallying. They're coming back with a vengeance, that's for sure. Russia certainly seems inactive in moving his army. They try to look over here. Is there more redoubts over here? No, they just kind of dug in. Whether they're not allowed to move, that might be a thing. So let's try and recreate history. Or whether the Russian player just doesn't think he believes he has an army in front of him. I don't know. But he is now moving infantry here, as you can see. They are shifting and they're going towards the town over here of Holowczyn. The Swedes continue on. I mean, these units must be exhausted. They're tired. They're going to need to stop at some point and start resting up and just get some volleys off. Going into melee constantly is not going to work. The Russians hold on for now. They do their best. But yeah, if you want to check out this mod, if you are like, man, how do I get this? You need to install the link down below. I'll leave a link for Rise of Empires. You do require Shogun 2 if you want to play it, which is kind of crazy to think this is a Shogun 2 mod. Nothing that suggests that we are in the age of samurai, that is for sure. Good volley there, actually routed those Swedes. And we have got Swedish cavalry now in the back here. Bohus Dragoon as a cav unit. We've got life Dragoons as well, I think these are. They look like they're life cavalry, that's for sure. They're going in, they're routing these Russians. They're making sure they stay gone. A bit of a mass rout is actually taking place here for the Russians. I actually think we're going to see the Russian Tsar here mass rout. The general's in melee as well. Oh no, he's not. He's just to the side. He's just to the side. We now do have Sheremetev over here with the Cossacks. But yeah, a very chaotic start to this fight, that is for sure. Already half the battle sort of almost over. Now the Swedes have got to march back the way they've come, and they've got to deal with Sheremetev, who seems like he has a larger army than the Tsar. I mean, all his units are just more spread out, making it look like he's got a bigger army. It does look like it. I mean, they look like they might be less well-trained troops. There are a lot of Cossacks I'm seeing amongst this army. But he looks like he has more cav. It looks like he has a lot of cav, actually. He does have Lifeguard Grenadiers. I think these are the like the Pavlos Grenadiers, basically, or what to become the Pavlos Grenadiers. Yeah, the Tsar's army is gone, as you can see here. The Swedes have done a very good job. Lou and Hop, and also Charles the 12th. Oh, I don't know why I want to call him Charles the 5th. There you go, gone. That is, and the Cossacks routed. Wow. Sheremetev's Cossacks routed with one man lost.
The enemy has
cowards!
your hidden units.
There you go. That is one army dealt with. I don't know whether I'm gonna... I mean, they're still technically actually chasing down Peter the Great. Some cavalry regiment here. But I don't know whether... I might make a cut. I feel like we're just going to see a bit of a mop-up going on now. We've got Peter the Great, actually. I think he's going to get guarded here by some lifeguard pikemen in blue. Instead of the traditional green of the Russian army. Yeah, a good way to stop the cavalry, potentially, unless they rout like that. That's unfortunate. You had one job, pikeman. One job. There you go. The Battle of Holowczyn is already getting underway, and it's kind of going historically accurate, as we were saying. So, like the Swedes here deal with the armies in peace. They now have to deal with Sheremetev, who is moving, or Sheremetev, who's moving forward here.
The enemy has uncovered the hidden units.
They still got a lot of dragoons over on this side. Yeah, Swedes still look like they got a good amount of cavalry, which is going to be a good punching power. They're going to need that to get through. But their infantry certainly a bit on the battered side, I'd say. These units are still healthy. But yeah, the army over here not looking so healthy. So yeah, I think I'm going to make a quick cut. The Swedes are now moving across, so I'll see you guys in a moment once the battle re-engages. So we are back. The Swedes have sort of pulled back on this left flank here, and they are letting the Russians march onto them. The Russians are actually taking a bit of the offensive now. I guess maybe they're not allowed to. I don't know. I feel like this player might have been given strict rules and he wasn't allowed to come to the aid of Tsar Peter to try and recreate history a little bit. I mean, now just depends really on whether Russia has enough to get through. And actually, the guards here returned. But I think they might rout us immediately again if they wanted to. We actually have a musketeer unit over here that's been sent to go and deal with the pikemen, which is probably the best decision. Get rid of that general. That will then be the end of the Russian army on this side here. And actually, Tsar Peter just shot his own men in the back. I'm pretty sure he must have been doing friendly fire damage there. Yeah, Sweden is moving forward. I mean, they're also equally being offensive. Russia, though, is turning and being relatively aggressive on this flank here. On the Swedish left, Russian right. And actually, there you go. Swedes managed to pick off a grenadier unit. And it's a lifeguard grenadier. I think most of the grenadiers in this period are lifeguards. There is cavalry, Cossack cavalry, really far wide there, typical of the Cossacks, you know, go really wide, trying to get in behind enemy lines. You see it just about every total war. Got dragoons here that are about to get squished. It's going to be a Swedish sandwich with, you know, Russian bread on either side in a moment here. The Swedish cav actually was routed there by the lifeguard grenadiers. I'm kind of surprised by that. But there you go. In a moment, we're about to see that cav charge turn into a cav sandwich. But I think the dragoon unit for the Swedes is pretty solid. And it's not in the typical blue. It's in green, just to make it confusing. And the Russians are in blue. It's just confusing. Just confusing. Just stick to one color, guys. Just stick to one color. And here come the Cossacks. Not too late. Just in the nick of time. And there you go, routing those Swedes. And that should actually keep them... I'd imagine they'll farm this unit down. And probably just... Yeah, there you go. Fully shattered. That's not returning. And now, all of a sudden, with that the throwaway of those two Swedish cav units there, Sweden's kind of looking a little open here on this flank here. And I think we're going to see a retreat once again from the infantry. Still a lot of Swedish cav, though, here that's yet to be committed. This is all really healthy. Whether they want to think about shifting that wide, might want to think about that. Got some cool redoubts here for the Swedes. They could think about using. But I don't think you can cross this ravine, which is kind of part of the problem here for the Russians and the Swedes. They've got to kind of go across in certain crossings. And I think this is why and how the Russians are able to defeat Tsar Peter, well, not Tsar Peter, but the Russians, the Sheremetev, so easily. Historically, it's because of this river divides up the armies quite nicely.
Damned ambushed you, sir.
Yeah, we've got the Dragoons here clashing with each other. Dragoons in this time period do actually use their carbines. Not like in NTW3 where no one's using their carbines, everyone just goes straight into melee. These guys aren't even looking the right way. This is how they feel about the Swedes. I'll start turning around, boys. We need it. Look at this. These artillery pieces are getting knocked out, and that's because of musket fire. This is kind of a common thing in Rise of Empires and pike and shot. Artillery actually is not like too overpowered. And actually, I don't think the Swedes I've seen really bring any in this one. I don't think, because they've been moving so quickly, so aggressively. They've just kind of gone for no artillery. Russians are sitting back, quite happy to use their artillery. And try and just inflict as much damage as possible. Historically as well, actually, Sweden had vastly more troops as well. Something else we didn't really look at. 12,500 Swedes against 28 to 39,000 Russians. Somewhere around there. That's an incredible sort of number. But again, like I said, this battle was won not because Charles took on the entire army. He managed to... the armies were separated, and they were managed to get picked off one by one. There you go, the Dragoons did just about win that fight there. Some returning Swedish cav. Caused a bit of a problem for a moment. I'm intrigued to see the quality of these Russian units when they go into melee here. The Swedes obviously have really good infantry, and it's kind of shown in this one already. But it'll be interesting to see whether the Russians can hold up. Already looking like that's a no over here. Look at that cav charge going in. Oh, Swedes broke though. Russians I thought were going to shatter, but they've since stabilized. Are they going to prove me wrong? I think the Swedes are going to lose this one. Yeah, another cav unit has not been wasted, actually. Oh, there you go. They actually did rout the Russians. There you go. They were going to pull out with a cav, and then the Russians have routed. They're going to go back in, but this unit, yeah, is exhausted. Was tired. Soon to be exhausted. Grenadiers are going to flank here, and they might charge down the line and get rid of those other two infantry units. Another infantry unit here setting up. That's going to try and deal with the supporting cavalry that's arriving. It looks like a second infantry unit. Might be one too many. I'm surprised the infantry's just not gone in. They are pulling out of melee. Are the Russians there? They're going to just try and shoot point blank range. That's very cheeky from the Russian player, in my opinion. And Sweden again is nearly breaking. There goes Sweden. He's going to go in. It's a volley. Russians in red. I mean, the Russians can't pick a colour. At least the Swedes are all in blue and gold mostly. That was a great charge, though. Smash through that unit. Swedish cav did manage to take out that second infantry. Just about. We've got the Cossacks once again in the back lines here. I think they're going to go for a rear charge here at any second. And someone's playing the pipes. Love it. Love it. In go the Grenadiers. I think the Cossacks, are they going to just try and run down the routing cav? Going to see a volley in a moment here, I think, from the infantry. Cossacks pretty low on morale, so they just kind of shatter. I think their job is literally just to try and attack weakened units and routing men, make sure they stay gone. And that's exactly what they're kind of doing here, making sure these Swedes stay gone. They've done just that. The Grenadiers managed to break through the infantry there, and that's the Swedish left pretty much gone. The cavalry has continued on. That looks like it's going to deal with the Siversky Dragoons back there. But I imagine the Russians should stabilize that flank. I don't think one Dragoon is going to make all the difference. Surprised that the Swedes have not pushed forward a little bit more. I was going to say they're having a duel right now with Dragoons. They outgun the Russians, that's for sure. So, I mean, they could just keep pushing this. I feel like there's just a lot of cav here. I mean, no one can form square. This is not the period of squares. So, the replay crashed, but we are back here with the remaining part of the Battle of Holowczyn. And the Swedes are pushing forward, and the Russian cav is now shifting. But I have a feeling it's shifting for multiple reasons. Rather, it doesn't want to get shot, but also it might be shifting to the right-hand side. After I famously said that Swedish cavalry is not gonna, be able to do too much. It actually looks like the Swedes might turn this fight around against the Russians somehow. This one Halsing regiment here has managed to hold on and defeat all these infantry units here. The Cavs now coming in, mowing down these guys, make sure they stay gone. The Cossacks here have won, though. This actually looked like for a minute like the cavalry regiment was going to win that fight. The Cossacks weren't looking so great. There's still a bit up in the air who is going to win this left flank here. And the Cossacks are going in, actually, and that Halsing regiment is immediately wavering. So this is a super, super close matchup here on this left flank. It's the Cossacks with their curved blades, those Tartars go in, and looks like the Cossacks are actually routing. Cavalry's returning as well. This is the great thing in a way, and also why these battles last so long about this mod, though. And pike and shot as well. So units are so big, units often return just multiple times. So the battle's gone for quite a long time. Yeah, 200, 250, which is a bit more realistic in a way. Like a unit would rout, but you would probably be able to re-rally it to a certain extent. There are a lot of instances where units were re-rallied and rallied once more, etc. Like, been called back to battle. I mean, obviously, there's loads of experiences, examples of units just rallying off the battlefield because they are awful. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool, and it just makes morale more important. And there you go. The Swedes won that fight. They are through that melee. Like I said, I had a feeling that the Russian infantry quality was going to be pretty poor. And it's kind of been improved over here. We've got more cavalry going in. And looks like there's some dragoons here getting beaten back. What else have the Russians got broken? Oh, just a cannon. But once they're through there, actually Boris is open. He's open for taking. If they get Boris, this is game. And it looks like, just somehow, again, by the skin of their teeth, they've won this fight. Again, the Cossacks, I think they just about held on because of the Holowczyn regiment. We've got another, Cossack, oh, this might be the same Cossack cav, to be honest. Returning very tired, yeah, it definitely is. What is going on in that left flank, I do not know. But the Swedes are sort of through the centre. Here comes Karl the 12. He's coming forward. He's pushing on.
Our men are running, sir.
Boris has shifted. I don't know where to. He's just behind enemy. He's just behind their lines now because they realised he was open. There is grenadier lifeguard, so they're still ready to block off. And Sweden is slowly but surely winning this right flank here. We've got the dragoons getting routed. Lifeguard, like infantry here going in. Didn't realise these were lifeguards. Probably why they did so well for Leuenhof. Well, yeah, His Majesty's lifeguard. There's a cavalry regiment there. Got infantry over here. Cossack skirmishers have not been used all game. Oh, there's a reason!
An ambush!
They are samurai, so they're broken units. They're just being left there. I do actually remember the person that sent this in said that was the case. Those Cossack units. At least it's not like a major unit. Would have been cool to have them though. But we've got some samurai. Cheeky little samurai here. So it shows the mod's still a work in progress. My gosh, this cannon though, that was beautiful. It's like boom, boom, literally one after the other successive. Absolutely battering these regiment of foot here. The Vastamalan. I'm butchering these names. This left flank as well is going backwards and forwards who is going to win it. Really is. We've got a cavalry regiment here taking on the Cossacks. That Holowczyn infantry's gone. I think there's another one that's since returned. But yeah, it's still going backwards and forwards. This left flank, yeah, there's literally nothing left for either side. They're using bare bones. Cossacks finally routed. It looks like the cavalry regiment, though, might join them. But the right flank's looking really good for the Swedes. And Sheremetev here is in real bad danger. He's got units stacking up on each other as well. That's a bad micro mistake, not allowing the full potential of that line infantry to be used because the grenadiers are blocking. Unless the grenadiers are going to go in, they need a move. Grenadiers as well in this mod can throw actual grenades and cause explosions. I don't think we've seen any of that here today. These guys are grenadiers though. These are grenadiers as well. Oh, go on, throw your grenades. For Karl! And Sweden! No, they're not. They're going to go straight in. Maybe they don't all have grenades. I feel like they did though. I feel like it was just a thing they gave to the grenadiers. Here we go. 2 elite units going in for both teams here. I mean, we've got a little cav unit going in as well. I think that is a life dragoon unit. It's going in and taking out the guns. Nice result. That'll free up that infantry a little bit there. They might be able to carry on and get the other one. They're just a decent nick. Well, I say decent nick. They've not lost a man, put it like that. They're going to rear charge infantry here, actually. Rout that Rostov infantry, and then they might probably go to the back of the grenadiers here if they can get a chance. More lifeguards coming forward for the Swedes. What seems to be remaining for the Swedes does seem to be elites. Well, a lot of elites, at least the healthy units. Still got a Cossack cav way in the back there for the Russians as well. At some point, Tsar Peter was routed. It just wasn't worth covering, to be honest. I think he just got shot up. This is looking good here. We've got the guns around in there. I thought that the carry might continue on. It's gonna do. What is it going for? Grenadiers, maybe? Should go for the other gun, or just or try and help support this gunfight here. Boris, where is Boris actually? Oh, he's very close. Boris Sherman, they could get him if they route this grenadier here. They could go for him. Oh no, we're just going to see a mass rout instead. And there you go. The Battle of Holowczyn is going to follow history. Sweden, after a really, I would say, rough and aggressive start, have managed to turn this one around. And there you go. Russia is just going to mass rout. Boris is going to have to retreat back to St. Petersburg with his tail between his legs. And what a fight. And he's actually going in. Oh, he is. He is. I thought it was done. I thought it was done generally. Boris is going in though. He's going in for one last hurrah here on the Lifeguard Grenadiers. Of all the units to charge. There you go. They just... Oh, yeah, I forget that, like, sometimes it's a bug. Units just don't route for Shogun 2. Certainly modded. So they're just machine gunning down these poor guys. They're getting farming kills. There you go. Boris is routed finally. Are they going to have to go and route these other 2 units? Oh, they might have to. They might have to route the broken units. Anyway, I will make a quick cut then for you guys. And I'll see you in a moment with the end results. And we are back. I do know that this one was sent in by Danilov, at least it's from his perspective as the Russian. So well done to him and Dr. Pyro. They did a good job, but just not quite enough. But an excellent job done by Nike and by J-Perk here. I mean, J-Perk getting nearly 4k kills. More kills than he had men. That's an incredible KD, that's for sure. But yeah, really good result. I mean, look at the size here. This Russian army here, nearly 5,500 troops. That is a huge army. That must have been Sheremetev, I think. We'll have a quick look at the unit stats for these players. So Nike here first with his cavalry regiment, 304 kills. Then we have the Dragoon Cav with 269. Yeah, and then we've got the infantry with 239. So yeah, Cav showing its like how good it was. Live Dragoons here getting 226 kills, 170 kills with a Dragoon life like a life Dragoon. And then, what else? 166 kills with the Helsing Regiment. They seem to do very well, even though they keep breaking and just coming back and forth. I just also thought, I don't think I saw a single pike unit for Sweden. Just kind of just corns me now. Even Carl the 12th getting 16 kills. Well done to him. And we have Danilo here getting 295 kills with his Cossack cavalry is incredible. His Sibersky Dragoons here, 120 kills, 120 with a infantry unit. 119 with his Moscow Dragoons. There are the rest of his kills if you want to have a look at those. Boris. Oh no, he was playing as Boris actually. He was Danilo getting 73 kills. It's very impressive for Boris Sheremetev. Then we have J-Perk here, 512 kills with one of his medium cav. That's really, really good. 323 kills with the infantry here, the Vasta Botten. Then we got 291 kills with another one of his infantry here. I'm not going to try and pronounce all of these, that's for sure. But yeah, huge kills with those. And we got the lifeguards here with 240. Very nice. Yeah, more lifeguards down here with 150 kills. And even Lou and Hopter here getting 32 kills. Not too bad. And then with Dr. Pyro playing as Tsar Peter the First's army. Kind of got overrun at the beginning. But yeah, put up as good a fight as possible. He did, I feel like, do a lot of damage to Lou and Hop, but evidently not enough. 142 kills with one of his infantry there. 140 with another one. I think that's lifeguard pikes there. 131 kills. The 104 with a cannon is kind of worrying where the cannon's that high up. Unless, you know, you're obviously in a really good position. Cannons in this game, I feel like did not get a great chance to try and like get many kills. So that one got a lot. It's kind of concerning. 18 kills as well for Peter. Not too bad there either. But there you go, guys. That is today's Rise of Empires at Battle. If you did enjoy and want to see more, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and a comment to show your support. It really does help out the channel. And if you want to send in any of your own replays or get involved in any sort of battles yourself, I'll leave a link for the Discord, or send for both mine and also Rise of Empires, and also the Rise of Empire mod as well. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you folks in the next one. Bye for now.